Yeah, we want you to circle around, get in tight.
Yeah, guys, just get in tight. Now a little talk. Now a little talk. That's great. That's great. I guess we're waiting for a few girls that are still in the bathroom.
He's very quiet. He's really shy.
Good? All right, ladies. My name is Mark Soto. I'm the executive director of the Honor Bowl, and it's an absolute honor to have you guys in this event. Last year, when we started this event, and we saw how the ladies' flag football was taking off, and we were loving it, I went, oh, bro, we gotta have these girls in our event. You guys are the first ones to play in the Honor. Now I want to break down some stuff to you, and then I'm going to give you a little housekeeping at the end of some speakers right now, but I want to introduce you to a couple people. This is Mom Patty. She's a Gold Star mom. That means that her son was killed in action, and you're going to hear a little of her story. This is Melissa. She's also a Gold Star sister. Her brother was killed in action. And this is First Sergeant Freddie Torres, and I'm going to introduce him in a matter of minutes. So, I'm a football coach just like all these coaches here. I'm sorry, Tom. This is Tom Schumacher. He's a Gold Star dad, Patty's husband. All right. Who else am I forgetting? Rick Sutter, who's the director of operations. All the graphics that you guys have been seeing on Instagram, he created them. Woo! Oh, good. All right. I'm a football coach just like these coaches. I was a football coach for 18 years. I had two boys that said, Dad, after 9/11, I want to go serve. I want to go fight. I don't like what happened over there, and we're going to go serve, Dad. No, you're not, guys. No, you're not. No. Just keep playing ball with me. You know, we'll get you another job. No, Dad. We want to go serve. So they went on deployments, the hardest time of my wife and I's life. But in 2010, a deployment my Marine went on completely changed my life. We went down to Camp Pendleton, and what we used to do is we used to throw parties for them. We used to buy a keg of beer, and we used to say, guys, go get some. And the Marines all full of piss and vinegar when you're ready to go and get some. But this one was a little different, because my son never told me where he was going. He waited until this party to take me for a walk, and during the middle of this party, he takes me by the arm, and he says, Dad, I need to tell you where we're going. Let's take a walk. I go, where are you going, son? He goes, I just got to go. Let's take a walk. And it was at that time he put his arm around me. He goes, Dad, I'm going to this area in Afghanistan called Sin. Do yourself a favor. Don't go. So I said, Dad, what do you think I did? Right when we got done with her talking, I'm going, what's this saying place all about? I get my phone out, I start Googling it, and then I learned, oh my God. This is where the British Marines were. This is where they lost the most men while they were there, over 200 in a 4-year span. 200 men in a 4-year span. And my son and his battalion of Marines was going there to fight. So we left. He left, and his mom and I were so scared, right? They left. My son later told me that when they were landing in their base, with their helicopters, they could hear pinging coming off the helicopters, and he could look out the window and he saw white flags surrounding their base. Now, when you and I think of white flags, what do we think? Surrender, right? Not to the Taliban. The Taliban would put these white sheets on the ground, and in black spray paint would spray paint, death to the Americans, death to the infidels. That's you and I. That's you. And the guys that were getting acclimated to their fob, they could see, oh my God, this is going to be a different deployment. We have never seen anything like this. And the first patrol leaves the base. They hear that first patrol get around 2 clicks away, which is a couple miles down the road, and they hear this boom! The boom was so loud it shook their base. They all loaded up in their Humvees, and they said, oh my God, that patrol just left, something happened to them. The radio silence, nothing's coming back. They go out the road, they come up protect from IEDs. It distributes the blast so it doesn't affect the Humvee that bad. But this blast was so big and it was set off a remote control by a Taliban that literally it lifted the Humvee off the ground, twisted it like a corkscrew, and 4 Marines instantly died. This is where it gets crazy. A couple of days later, I hear about a Marine that was killed from my own hometown. I gotta find out who this Marine was. My son's a Marine. I gotta find my son's in Afghanistan. I gotta find out who this is. And then I find out who it is. It's a young man that I used to coach by the name of Victor Duke. Just like you guys. I used to coach him. I call his mom and dad. What can I do? What can I do to help? They're on their way to Dover to get their son's body. They said, Coach, you could just do us a favor and just, handle the media, do something to help us. They go and get their son's body, and as we're at the house and I'm talking to them, they ask me to eulogize their son. It was an honor that I'll never forget. Ever forget. And I watched him get buried in the ground in that flag-draped coffin. This is where it gets tricky. A couple weeks later, my son calls me. Dad, and he's on the satellite phone from Afghanistan. Dad. Yeah, yes, what's, are you okay? He goes, Dad, my colonel says that a coach buried Victor Dew. Was that you, Dad? I said, yes, it was me. I don't give a justice. He goes, Dad, I was there. I pulled him out of the vehicle. Changed my life, guys. Changed my life. I don't know how many times I've had 210 high schools in front of me, and every time I tell that story, I cry. I'll never forget it. But that was the night, that was the light, that was the flame, that was the fire that started the Honor. It was at that time that we got together with friends and family and coaches, and we said, what can we do to help these men and women that are coming home with no legs and they're blown apart and they're coming home with flag drink conference? What can we do? That's when the idea of the Honor Bowl was birthed. The best high school football showcase in America. No one rivals us. And you guys are playing in that event. I'm sorry guys, I get emotional every time I talk. But that's what the spirit of the Honor Bowl is. That's the heart of the Honor. Now I want to introduce you to a 3-5 Marine that was there when that event happened. Let's give it up for First Sergeant Fred Torres.
Good afternoon. It's a tremendous honor and privilege to stand in front of you and talk a little bit about that deployment where I was at. I just want to start out with saying you are setting history, and I tell the team behind us that it's just a matter of time before the Honor Bowl completely blows up. It's already big. It's just a matter of time, and I truly believe you are setting the history, and we're just going to grow from it. So Coach was talking about 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, and 3-5 Battalion deployed to stay in Afghanistan. Just 2 months after that, on December 30th, 2010, we'll share a story about a Marine that was out there patrolling the streets, patrolling a new area, and this Marine was out there with the squad, 25 other Marines in that squad. Now, I use the movie Lone Survivor, if you've ever watched it, the Navy SEAL movie, when they're on the top of the mountain, Marcus Luttrell's looking down his scope, and he's observing the village. If you've ever watched it, you remember the village. It's mud hut, alleyways, compounds with these holes inside the walls. Well, these holes, they were called murder holes. The Taliban used them, and they would put their barrels down and spray left and right in the hope that they would hit a Marine. So on December 30th, 2010, this patrol was making their way back after being out for a few hours and talking to local nationals, gaining intelligence. They were making their way back into their patrol base, their safe spot. As they were making entry, the back of the patrol took contact. The Taliban ambushed them. They opened up on them. As they opened up, the squad got inside. Now, the backup patrol stepped on an IED, an improvised explosive device. Luckily, it didn't go off all the way. Only about 4 pounds of the 25 pounds intended to go off blew up. It shattered the Marine's foot. They got that Marine in, got him in a truck, and got him out of there. Now, there was still a piece of explosive laying out there. So the Marines had to go back out there and blow up the rest of the place so the Taliban wouldn't pick it up and use it again. So a team of 4 went out. They went back out there, they laid a stick of explosions down, and they were about to blow it when the Taliban from the east opened up again, using the same positions of murder. They were spraying left and right. The squad leader that went up there, he took 2 gunshot wounds to the leg. The rest of the team ran around the corner to cover and started suppressing back, firing back at those holes. The sergeant immediately raised his weapon up, his rifle, and started pointing that direction, shooting back at the Taliban and running towards that direction. There was a waist-high wall, little divot, where the squad leader was going to run to, and that's where he ran to take cover, to get behind safety. Once he got there, he laid on the ground, stood up, and realized his camis, his camouflage uniform, was filled in red. He realized he had been shot. Here comes one of the Marines that ran around the corner under fire, still the Taliban suppressing. Slid in on his knees, took his scissors off, and cut the pants off that Marine that had been bleeding out. Immediately, blood was gushing out. His femoral artery had been shot on one side of the leg, and his other leg had already been shot as well. He put his fingers there, he put his palm on it, put gauze out, and started applying and treating the wound. They called out the quick reaction force, the QRF, from the base. They came out, they brought a stretcher, they put the sergeant back on there, and now it's a full-blown firefight. Taliban versus Marines going back at it. Machine guns, rockets. On the count of 3, the Marines were going to go all guns blazing. Every single weapon and rocket was going to get fired in order to get their squad leader that had been bleeding out, shot the femoral artery out. On the count of 3, they pick him up, 1, 2, 3, and they pick him up and start moving him back to the patrol base where there was a truck waiting to get him out of there. As they were walking him out, the sergeant picks up his hand as he's getting carried out, and his best friend's on the other side. He holds his hand tight, and he says these last words. Tell my mom I love her, and tell my boys I'm sorry. Squeezes the hand one more time. Tell my mom I love her. Tell my boys I'm sorry. And his hands fall. They get the sergeant into the truck. They get him out of there. They get him out of Afghanistan to Germany. That body comes back. He comes back here to the United States. Luckily, he made it. But it came with some difficulties. When he made it back down here to San Diego to Balboa Hospital, the doctors told him, your leg's getting amputated. There's too much nerve damage. By the way, you're getting medically retired. It's over. Your career's done. You've been in for 5 years. You've done all these things, but it's over. So that sergeant took it from January to April when the battalion was going to get back, middle of April. He took a challenge and he said, by the time the battalion gets back, he said, I will be standing at the bottom of that staircase when that plane lands, and I will stand there to greet my entire squad. That's what he said. And through the 3 months, he worked, double physical therapy, 5, 6, 7 times a week, didn't take a break. And I'll tell you right now, on April 15th, when that battalion landed on March Air Force Base in Riverside, I stood at the bottom of that staircase when my squad landed, and I was able to stand there and hug every single one of them. But let me tell you the challenges that I faced in so many aspects, mentally, physically, psychologically. I faced it all. I thought it was over. I thought my leg was going to get cut off. And now I'm one of the best runners. Now I'm a personal trainer. I'm a course fitness instructor. I'm a martial arts instructor trainer. But I was once told that my leg's getting cut off now. My career's over. Now that was in 2011. Why do I share this story with you in 2024? Because I used to call this a warrior case study. People used to say, share your warrior case study. And there was a little bit of shame, there was a little bit of guilt that came with that, and I didn't want to share it. But 2 years ago, God brought me knees and he told me, this is not your word or case study, this is a testimony. This is a testimony, and by the way, you have a gift with young adults and the youth. And I need you to minister to them. And thankfully, now that's what I do. I'm grateful for the opportunities to go around and minister to young adults and to youth and to share my story, because some of you are going to face it, and it's not going to be as severe as mine. But you're going to face the challenges as teenagers, in high school, in a relationship, out in the field. You're getting hit. It hurts. You don't want to go on. I've been there before. But I tell you right now, it's everything is mental. Because I could have given that up. I could have given up my career at that point. I could have taken the amputation. I could have gotten a retirement check and disability check for the rest of my life and never had to work again. But that wasn't who I was. That didn't define me. And now I can't tell you that it's been perfect ever since, because I have made mistakes, but none of that stuff defines me, and it's made me a better person, a better man, a better Marine today. So I share that story with you for your challenges, the adversity you're going to face. I faced it, but it was all of your mental. So go out there, give it your best. It's to the left and to your right, just like the Marine that saved my life. It's all about to the left and to the right. You're going to face those challenges in the field, in high school, at home, in a relationship. Fill the blank, you're going to face it. It's how you overcome it, and you don't let it define you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. I can't wait to watch you girls play out there. Pour your heart out into it. Give it everything you got. Don't leave anything on the field. Thank you, and God bless you.
First Sergeant Chris Moore.
My two partners. The Marine that Mark was talking about that started it, my son. So two things I want to do, because we don't have a lot of time, is I want you to understand what the Marine Corps motto is: honor, courage, and commitment. You have your own personal honor, your own personal morals that you need to live by. And I really feel for you in today's society of what you guys are going through. I cannot imagine being a teenager today. So you have to have your honor, your self-worth, your self-understanding to be able to step up and understand where you lie. Courage. Courage is being able to stand up and doing that. Commitment, you're doing it right now. You're committing yourselves to the team, to each other, and you need to commit yourselves in your endeavors going on. A little bit about my son. He was 20 years old. It was his first deployment. He was engaged. 18 days later, after he left the States, he was killed and came home. The one thing that I had learned about my son was after his buddies came back. The stories that I got from them about him were that day when they were going out of the wire on that mission that they had to do, they were scared. They knew what was going on. There was a lot of IEDs out there. They knew it. They knew it was a very good chance that they were not coming back. But they did it. My son, they told me, what I was told is that he said, we got this. We trained well, we trained hard, and we can do this. And that right there made the biggest difference for all the guys that he was with. So, I'm going to ask you something. Did you train hard for this game today?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, goodness. Did you train hard for this game today?
Yes.
Are you going to go out there and give it your all?
Yes.
Are you going to win?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Let's do some housekeeping here. Where's my coach? Coach, come here.
Be careful of the tunnel. Mark, make sure they run straight down the middle.
Yeah. Coach, thank you. Coach. All right, guys, listen up. So housekeeping. All right. So, Coach, Who is the player that's going to have the honor of carrying the flag when we announce your team through the banners? Who's going to be the person that's going to carry the flag?
AJ.
AJ. All right. So AJ, when it's time for you to get announced, your team through the tunnel, I'm going to hand you a flag, right? And when I announce you, you whoop it up. You put that flag up in the air, and then I'll announce you guys, and you guys run through the banners, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. At the end of the game, when you guys do your handshakes, we're going to knee up at the center of the field. Your coach is going to nominate who the character award winner is. One of the guys from Max Reps is going to nominate which one of you is the MVP. And then we're going to hand this coach the championship trophy, right? All right. I have a gift for you guys. They're Honor Bowl bands, all right? They're your sizes, all right? They'll fit you, all right? So coach, please make sure all the girls get one of these bands. If you don't have enough, we got more over where we're at in the base, all right? Okay, so get in tight, guys.
Bring it in.
All right, we have to say, 3-5 Marines, it's get some. So when I say 3-5, you yell get some. Got it? All right, 3-5, get